Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And today I have a Thinking of You card made with some of the free material that you can get during Sale-a-bration. We're now only a couple days away from that catalog being live. So the paper that I'm using this time is one that you can get for free. It's called Lilly Impressions Designer Series paper, and it is gorgeous. So let's just get started. Okay, so here is my project. I have used this paper with some Bermuda Bay and some Gorgeous Grape and then Very Vanilla. And on the inside I have used all three colors as well, plus a little flower that I cut from the paper. All right, what you need to make this card is I used a base of Bermuda Bay 8.5 by 5.5 scored and folded at 4 1/4. Then I have 2 pieces of Gorgeous Grape that are cut 4 by 5 1/4. Then I have a piece of Very Vanilla for the inside that is cut at 3 3/4 by 5, and then one for the outside cut at 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Then I have, let me show you this beautiful designer series paper. It's called Lilly Impressions Designer Series paper, and it is, the complementary colors are Bermuda Bay, Blackberry Bliss, Coastal Cabana, Flirty Flamingo Garden Green, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple, Grapefruit Grove, Highland Heather, Lovely Lipstick, Melon Mambo, Pool Party, and Pretty Peacock. So it's just about everything in the in the color palette. So these are the papers. Let me just show them to you. I've been in and digging around in mine already. This piece that I've used for today is this paper. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's got most of those colors I read in there. It's obviously painted, done with a palette knife. It's just beautiful. On the back side of it is this paper, which is just as interesting, with splashes of color, all different kinds. On here, there's probably a million things you could do with it, but the flowers just appeal to me. So that's one of the papers. Let me bring in the rest here so you can see. They include this pretty lily pad pattern, and then this beautiful swish of color on the back, and that could be Pretty Peacock, could be anything. Then this, which has smaller lily pads on it, and the back of it is this luscious purple, just gorgeous. Then there is this purple background with lilies on it, and almost a ruby red background on the back side. Then this that's got more greens in it and yellows, beautiful, and this beautiful kind of peachy color on the back side, just gorgeous. And last but not least, this beautiful purple, and it's got a gorgeous green on the back side of it. This paper is free. So with a qualifying order of $50, this is one of the things that you can pick for free in the catalog, and it's just gorgeous stuff. Now what I did was I picked a place on the paper where, when I cut my strips, these are 3/4 inch strips by 4 inches, so that I could get 4 down the page, 3/4, so 1 1/2, 3 inches by 4, so you can get 4 going across and 3 coming down to do this. But not all pieces of paper. I mean, if you cut this little piece here, it would still be beautiful, but there's something about having one of those flowers on there. So I did manipulate mine around so that I got pretty flowers on my strips of paper. So, and I used, let's see, Very Versailles, Thinking of You. This one says Always Thinking of You, and I just masked off the always when I stamped it on here, and I stamped it in Gorgeous Grape. So this is a very easy card, very fast. And so let's just go ahead and put this together. So I have my larger piece is for the inside, and that's matted on a piece of the Gorgeous Grape. So I think I'll go ahead and get that done straight away. So setting that in place, and then putting this piece in place on the inside of my card. And then we just have to add a flower or some decoration here to finish that off. Maybe we'll finish this one off a little differently. But there we go. That's the inside of the card. And then this piece of Gorgeous Grape goes on the front of the card, centered. And I didn't raise anything on this card. I thought the illusion of the way the paper strips are moved apart gives a sense of movement to this, and so I didn't think it needed anything more. Now this one, I'm just going to go ahead and put in place here on the center of my card, leaving a nice big bold border of the Gorgeous Grape around that. And then the thing is to get these papers put kind of back together. Let's see, I think it goes like that. Yep, that's the way it goes, and that was the flower pattern on the card. All right, so what I did was I used some, and I'm using a dot runner on this part because there's some chance I wouldn't get this on here exactly straight, and this is easier to pick up if I need to. All right, so I set this one in place using this edge to get a border that's even on the top and the side. And from my experimentation, I know that that much of a border, about 1/8 of an inch, is just right. And so then I'm going to put my next one in place next to it, and matching my border at the top and about the same, 1/8 of an inch on the page. And then we'll just keep going across here. This paper is just so beautiful, but it's also overwhelming. It's such a bold pattern that I wanted to break it up and see a little bit of something in between it. It's pretty bold. Okay, and then this last piece. And no two cards will come out the same because it just depends on where you cut your flower. So it's kind of fun. But this seemed to work out. 1/8 of an inch between all of these pieces seemed to be just about right. There we go, on the card. Then what I did was I mounted my Always Thinking of You, and I have a little piece of washi tape here, and I masked off the Always on here, and I'm going to do that because I don't want to get ink all too late. I was going to say I don't want to get ink all over my fingers, but there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take the Gorgeous Grape and see, I think I'm just going to wipe off all of this ink first so we have a nice fresh stamp to start with, and make sure that that other word is completely covered, and then go ahead and ink this up. Getting plenty of ink on there. In fact, I got so much ink on there, I got it along the edge. So I'm going to take a little bit of that off, and then peeling off my washi tape, and then trying to think in terms of, I wanted this a little further over to this side, and on this one I'm going to try putting it a little over to this side. So there we go, my thinking of you. There we go. And then I used a few rhinestones, and what I did was I put a medium-sized rhinestone right down here next to my words, and then I scattered a couple more of the smaller ones. I put one up here and one kind of in the middle. I think right down here. And there we go. That's the outside of our card done. Now on the inside of the card, it doesn't feel to me like it needs that much. And I have this beautiful long strip that was left from my cutting. So I think what I'm going to do is cut a 1/2 inch strip here of this paper, and then let's see, if I went all the way across, I think I'm going to go to 5 1/4 and just cut that little strip off there. And on this one, we're going to take this piece of the designer series paper and put it just along the edge, and what it's going to do is go to the top and the bottom of the purple, because that's the length I cut it to. There we go. So it hangs a little bit over, but there, I think that's very pretty. And in this one, I just fussy cut out from the paper here a little piece of a lily pad. In fact, this one would be perfect because this is a flower already sitting on a lily pad, so you could cut around that, and you know, they're very impressionistic. So just moving your scissors back and forth to get some kind of a ridged pattern along here would do just fine. But that one would be lovely there if you wanted to do that. But that is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, or you could join my team. Now there's just a fabulous join offer on Stampin' Up! Right as the new catalog opens up, and it's available for the whole first quarter, the entire time of celebration. And you get $125 worth of product for $99, which is the normal deal, which is still a pretty good deal. But you also get this little mini trimmer, and it's just as cute as it can be. It's a little guillotine mini trimmer that will cut smaller pieces of paper when you need to just take a tiny edge off. You can use this, and it's small enough it fits on your desktop, and it is 4 1/4 inches by about 6 inches, and I think it's just as cute as it can be. But for just taking that sliver off something, I think it's pretty handy to have on your desktop. So you get this mini trimmer. Then you also get a package of some of the designer series papers, a small sample, and then you get a stamp set of your choice, which is kind of a fun thing. So it's a pretty good deal. And when you join in January, your first minimum isn't due until the end of June. So if you want to talk about it, please give me a call. My number is always listed below the video, and I'd be happy to chat with you about it. Well, thanks again, and I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye now.